Joining us now to unpack some of what's been made public today is criminal defense attorney Jim Bergenn. So, Jim, if you're joining us here, let's get right to it. The former president, who's also a current candidate for president right now, facing these 37 counts for willfully retaining these highly classified documents. What happens next for the former president, Jim? What's the timeline?
Well, usually defense lawyers like to have a lot of time to get ready. And since they didn't even get to read the indictment to within the last few hours, there's a lot of preparation they have to do. And again, the prosecution has been staring at this evidence and thinking about the elements of each of the crimes for a long time. So it will take several months for them to get a pretty good handle on what they're going to do. In the meantime, everybody's going to be getting ready for something very different from what they're used to. Everybody's used to, at least when I say everybody, the president, the former president, is used to just political arguments. And this is just so different. It doesn't really matter how everybody feels about it. It just doesn't matter. We have a country of laws. And if you just stare at the laws and you stare at the facts, that's what this case is going to be about. It's not going to be about arguments. It's not going to be about, well, who's a good guy, who's a bad guy? Does this make sense? I'll tell you what makes sense. The statutes. They just set forth exactly what there has to be in order for there to be a crime. And then you just look and see, are the facts there? So he's in a heap of trouble, actually. Now, whether it affects him politically is, I'm not an expert on that.
Now, Jim, is it possible for the former president to get a fair trial, given how politically charged all events surrounding him are?
I feel very strongly that he can. And the reason is we actually take out of the process all of the prejudice. So everybody likes to criticize the other side in this political maelstrom that we've had for the last 6 years or so. And honestly, it doesn't really matter what your attitude is. The law establishes what is relevant, not what you and I might feel. And since the law is very specific and they have very specific facts, the reason he'll get a fair trial, it's not fair if you just love Trump. And it's not fair if you just hate Trump. It's fair if you love a society that's based on law. We have laws. The jurors who will sit can only sit if they agree that they will follow the law and then read the facts. So if somebody admits to being so enamored of Trump or so hateful of Trump, they can't sit because their job isn't to say, I love Trump or I hate Trump. Their job is just to decide what happened. And once they decide what happened, then they listen to the judge. The judge will say what the law is and what they must do. And then all they have to do is they have to decide it unanimously and beyond any reasonable doubt. So if they've got those facts, it doesn't matter whether you love them or hate them. That's the decision.
There is going to be a lot we're going to be talking about. President Trump expected in federal court in Miami on Tuesday. Jim Bergenn, we hope to have you back as all of this continues to unfold. We appreciate your time this afternoon. Thanks, Jim.
Glad to.